Today is the Livingston Parish Council Finance Committee meeting. It's Thursday, November the 30th, 2023, 5:45 p.m. This meeting is now called to order. We're going to ask the council clerk to do a roll call.
Mr. Delatte?
Here.
Mr. Ard?
Here.
Ms. Sandifer? Here. Mr. Girlinghouse?
Here.
Old business is on here. Does anybody have any old business from the council? Do you have any old business? We're going to move on to new business, and we're going to talk about the monthly and yearly financials. Ms. Jennifer Brady.
We're going to kind of lump the next item together, if you don't mind.
That'll work.
The budget that we're going to introduce tonight, this is the final version of the budget unless you guys have any changes. It's been updated through today, so that it will serve as your year-to-date financials as well. There's really nothing crazy in there for this year or next year. You also have your standard check register and sales tax reports.
We are talking about the 23 budget or the 24? You said
Both. So we are amending the 23 and proposing the 24 with the same document.
Okay, you says nothing crazy about the 23, but I see there's a $25 million adjustment. Can we talk about that?
Where? Which page?
23 budget. I think it was approximately 95 million before. You're showing 121.6 now. It also shows that's a $7 million deficit.
That's probably grants. Just me adding the grants in as I got grant information.
And so what does that mean to me? Can I adopt a deficit budget or not?
No, sir, you cannot adopt a deficit budget.
So we're going to change this when?
Where are you showing the deficit?
Well, now looking at the summary of all the budgets, isn't your number 121,634.97 for the total?
Which page are you looking at, Mr. Randy? On the current copy that that you have now?
I don't know, when did you give me a new copy?
Yes, sir. What's being introduced tonight?
So when did you give me the new copy?
Tonight.
All right.
Well, grants have been added in, but this is not a deficit.
What is that?
We're simply spending money that we had in our account.
Okay, so why?
If it's a deficit, your fund balance, you can't have a fund balance deficit.
So this shows a deficit, though. This shows this minus. This doesn't show plus.
Okay, so you're simply spending more money in the current year than you took in the current year, which is fine. That's the whole purpose of fund balance. It's like having money in your savings account, and in the current year, you spend more money than you brought in, but you have money in your savings account.
I'm not explaining myself the way I need to explain myself, I guess. Here's the last quarter of the financials, okay? We have a $25 million adjustment, and you telling me this is grant money, that this $25 million adjustment is. We have to amend the budget to do this, right? This is not what you gave us first. This is what you gave us tonight.
That was the second version, probably, of the budget. That changes as we get information in, like health insurance numbers, how fast grants are moving forward.
So why do I have to amend the budget?
I'm not understanding the question.
So the budget year of 2023, does it have to be amended?
Yes, sir.
So why do I have to amend it?
The budget has to be amended because revenues and expenses have changed from what we proposed last year in December.
Can you give me that number?
Yes.
Please
But
tell
it would be the document from December through this document today.
So can you give me that number? Not everyone.
Total as a whole?
Seems like you and I are having a problem, Miss Jennifer, getting the information I'm requiring. So you do it the way you want to and make me understand it the way you want to do it.
So what is presented here, the 2023 year, is amending for the 2023 year. It's so what we proposed December of last year that we thought was going to happen in 2023. Then you move forward through 23 and you get some grants, you don't get grants, they work faster, work slower, those revenues come in higher or lower.
So don't we normally amend that when that happens and not at the last moment?
No, sir. We've always amended it in December for the year.
Okay. And so we always had a $25 million adjustment or not? That's the question I'm asking.
Potentially, could be more or less.
Okay, this budget. But when I went back to different budgets, I didn't see that. This is the last quarter of the existing administration, and for some reason, we $25 million higher. I'm just trying to get why. To me, that's a simple question.
It's probably grants.
Well, you're the financial director. Why is it probably? It either is or it's not. You presenting the budget.
I'm not looking at the sheet that you are looking at.
So give me your sheet and tell me what those numbers are.
You have my sheet.
Okay, tell me what the numbers are. They don't have your sheet.
You want to know each fund, which revenues and expenses?
What I want you to tell me is that you had a budget that was adopted in '95, and that was a number. Now you're coming back and you need to amend it, and I want to know what that number is that we need to amend the budget.
That's what's presented here, this
So tell
giant
me.
packet.
Tell me the number.
I mean,
Speak it.
it's 1,000 different numbers. Each line item is a different number than was originally proposed a year ago.
I'll try to ask it in another way. We have to make amendments to the budget.
Yes, sir. Each line item.
And I'm not worried about each. What are the total amendments that we have to make?
I don't have last year's budget, the original introduction of last year's budget. I'm sorry. On a fund basis, so for example, the general fund revenue, the 2023 original general fund revenue was projected to be $10,287,000 and change. Our final general fund revenue is projected to be $13,980,000 and change.
So can I ask this? What was our total revenue projected?
I don't have a copy. That's the one sheet that we don't include here.
Okay, what was our total expenditures?
We don't have a sheet in this document showing what was
So
originally
if I don't have my
proposed
total,
on a total.
if I don't have my total revenue and I don't have my total expenditures, how do I know how to amend the budget?
It's on the fund basis. It's broken down by fund, by line item.
Okay, tell me the biggest one. Tell me the top 5 biggest ones.
It's going to be the road fund.
And tell me that, explain that then.
So on page 34 of your current budget, the original road fund revenues, there's a column that says 2023 original. That's what was adopted as the 2023 proposed in December of last year.
So you saying the road fund is showing how much on your document?
We were showing $34,055,000 and change, and it's going to come in at $34,387,000 and change.
But that doesn't seem like a big adjustment, a big...
Correct.
So what I was asking, I see $25 million adjustment. I'm asking, Ben, you can't give me the revenue or the expenditures. I'm asking, because you say it's line by line, fund by fund. Give me the 5 biggest ones. Obviously, that couldn't be a big one. I mean, you can never get 24 million using that.
Go Mesa's going to be one. The opioid abatement that we didn't anticipate getting this year is going to be another one. It was $1.3 million.
So the first one you said is going to be one is what?
Go Mesa.
Okay, and so what's the change in that budget? I'm just trying to find something close to justify why it's 25 million higher, okay?
Yes, sir. I understand that. So we were originally anticipating it's about $3 million difference in the general fund.
And that
Going to be a combination of royalties in the general fund and the Go Mesa.
thank you, that's what I'm looking for, okay? So 3 million in that fund, we only got 18 more to go, or 19.
So I'm not trying to be difficult. I think we're just not understanding exactly what you're asking.
Okay, well,
It's each individual fund is going to have a little bit. The biggest difference is probably going to be your coronavirus fund.
okay, give me that one.
That's going to be Fund 109. It's on page... It's Fund 107, I'm sorry. So there was an increase in that fund of 5 million.
See, now we're talking numbers that I can understand.
So there's a opioid abatement fund also that we didn't anticipate getting this year that we received. It's 1.4 million about. So, I mean, it's just, it's not a huge amount anywhere. It's a bunch of little amounts.
Okay. So, being we have new revenue of 25, it seems like we're going to spend that in the expenditures. Is that correct?
A large portion of this is the coronavirus. The revenue was not there last year. So, if you're looking, but the difference like 23 to 24, you won't show that 25 million in 24 either. It's only going to happen as you spend it in 23 for all of that ARPA money.
So this is a one-time thing, though, or?
Sure.
Okay. So the expenditures, the 25, we had 25 extra million. So what are those expenditures are going to be? That's a big ticket item that people can say, I know where my money's at.
The ARPA projects.
Okay. Give me 5 projects.
There is the airport sewer. There is the NRCS match, so all of the debris cleanup waterways. We matched 10% on that to the tune of about $7 million. We did a huge HVAC upgrade. That was almost $6 million. We did some temporary employees. We did some premium pay for the employees. There's Jason Drive, South Woodcrest, all of those drainage projects that were done. That's $27 million worth. The bulk of that is being done this year in this 23 budget.
Okay. So the 25 million extra in revenue, most of that expenditures is going to be covered in this budget, and it's not going to go for, those projects will be finished?
Yes, sir.
And they won't go
I've
back.
projected all of those to complete this year, with the exception of just a little bit of employee expenses in 24 for like the ARPA funds and such.
Okay.
Well, and maybe the sewer district project is about $3 million. I don't know if they'll get that bidded out before the end of the year and awarded. So that may roll over to next year. But it's earmarked so that you can't spend it on anything else. It's restricted.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Anything else, Jennifer?
No, sir.
I have on the agenda, y'all, I'm trying to find the agenda, but I know I had it earlier, about a forensic audit. And I'm not saying that one's going to be required. What I'm saying is the legislative auditor has given me a checklist of things that I have to be responsible for, and we haven't got that information yet, and I'm going to pass that on. And if we don't get that information, they suggested we do a forensic audit. So after you look at this, and we think a reasonable time is a week, and if we do not get that information in a week, then I'm going to come back to the council next that we fulfill our obligations with the legislative auditor to get these answers. Okay?
Sure.
And that's what that means. You ask me the questions while I explain. Anybody else?
I don't have anything.
This meeting is now adjourned.